A Cardinals victory, camp cuts, and Oli Marmol extension backlash. All on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And welcome to another episode of Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you to our everydayers who continue to be here with us through the thick and the thin. For the newcomers, welcome in. Let's talk some ball. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation, giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBThe.show/Locked On and use code Locked On to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Pre-order now, available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. On today's show, we got a ton of stuff to get to. The Oli Marmol extension backlash continues to be a hot topic that people want to talk about. So I want to share some more feedback, both negative and positive, because there's people on both sides of that fence. We got our first cuts of camp to talk about, but we're going to start with the game at hand on Monday. A pitcher's duel, if you will, between the Cardinals and the Marlins. Cardinals come out on top of this one by a score of 3-2. And one of the most pivotal at-bats in this game involved rookie Joshua Baez and the ABS challenge system, and it was capped off by a walk-off hit from one of the newer Cardinals that came over this offseason. So let's get into the three stars of the game. My number one star, and I'm going to go with Joshua Baez on this one, and I'm going to do that despite him getting picked off at one point in this game, got picked off at first base, which is obviously a big no-no. I realize that he's young, fell asleep over there at first base, got picked off, but there wasn't a whole lot really to get excited about in this game, and I got to pick somebody. So he still went one for two in the game. Also had that all-important walk that I was talking about, which was one of the few highlights in this game, as the Cardinals offense really had a tough day for the most part, coming off that one-hit effort on Sunday. Didn't have much going on here either. Didn't record their first hit until the fifth inning. It was just crickets in that first half. So if you happen to nod off at some point while listening to this game on KMOX because it wasn't on TV yet again, don't beat yourself up about it. It's okay. I was actually at the gym listening, and I think I heard more about the weather than things actually about what was going on in this game because things were so dull. Really, it was kind of boring. There's no need to sugarcoat it. But bottom of the fifth inning, after Nelson Velasquez got the first hit of the game for St. Louis, it was Baez who got hit number 2 on an infield single. Yay! But then, with Brody Moore up in 2 outs at a 2-0 count, Baez gets picked off by the catcher to end the inning. Boo! Don't like that. But as I've said before, when it comes to these younger players, when you've got guys who are as inexperienced as the Cardinals roster is, they're going to make some dumb mistakes. And it's going to happen during the regular season too. And you're going to be like, so frustrated about it all. But you'd rather see them trying to learn from this now before the games actually count. And hopefully that's what this is for Baez. It's a learning experience. Then in the 7th, with the score 2-1, runners on first and second and 1 out, Baez falls behind 1-2. And not once, but twice, gets called out on strikes, only to tap the helmet, challenge both calls, and then have them overturned and turned into balls. And here's the thing. These were not egregious calls either. It's not like the ump was, pulling an Angel Hernandez and they were like 7-8 inches off the plate and was ringing them up. They were right there. They were very, very close. Normally, these would be what we'd call pitcher's pitches. And they would go in favor of the pitcher, and you wouldn't really argue with it. But the first pitch ends up missing by 1/10 of an inch. Second one missed by 3/10 of an inch. Borderline calls, but the zone is the zone, and they were overturned, and Baez eventually worked a 7-pitch walk instead of striking out. So that worked out huge. It got the fans excited. It helped the Cardinals load the bases for Jeremy Rivas, who does his job, hits that sac fly to tie things up at 2. This ABS thing, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the big leagues this year. We've had, the challenges on the calls at bases, plays at first base, stolen bases. We've had these challenges for a couple years now. And obviously those are very exciting for fans because there's that anticipation. You're like, okay. And we're watching the play on the scoreboard and you're like, well, okay, what's it going to be? I think he's out. What do you think? Here, because there's that gray area in those plays where, well, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call or whatever. So, there's this gray area where, the call could still be messed up. There's still the possibility of them screwing it up. Here, the computer is telling you exactly who's right and who's wrong. So it's going to amp things up even more for the crowd. There's no, well, it kind of looks like a strike. No, it either is a strike or it is not. And home plate umpire John Bacon, who was the home plate umpire in this game on Monday, actually had 4 of the 5 challenges overturned in favor of the players. So these guys are going to be held accountable this year. Boys, you better get your ish together. I cannot wait to see some of the more familiar home plate umpires that we've had issues with over the years, the CB Buckners and Laz Diaz's and Hunter Wendelstedts and Rob Drakes of the umpiring world. I cannot wait to see them get their cheeks smacked with overturned calls and their ability to ruin games at times. Like, that's not going to happen this year. Every umpire is going to miss calls. I get that. It's okay. I understand it. You're human. You're a human. I get that. But the guys that are notoriously bad, like the guys I just listed, are about to get theirs. That's for sure. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. And then, you can't argue balls and strikes if you're a player or a manager or anything like that. So maybe that gets taken out and guys aren't ejected as much this year. So what are these guys going to do? What's CB Buckner going to do when he gets all worked up because he's getting stuff overturned all the time. So going to be interesting. Second star of the game is going to go to Colton Ledbetter, who drove in the winning run with his walk-off hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. And what an excellent at-bat it was for Colton. 8 pitches long, 4 foul balls before he laces that base hit to right field to score our guy Mike Antico. Ledbetter came over from the Rays as part of that 3-team trade that sent Brendan Donovan to the Seattle Mariners. He's only had 5 at-bats so far this spring, but he's now 3 for 5. So he's hitting 600. And he's got one pretty little swing. If you haven't gotten a chance to see any of his at-bats, because there hasn't been many, but when he gets in there, man, that thing is nice. It's nice. Colton Ledbetter is what I'm calling him because that swing is butter. It's beautiful. I can see why the Cardinals were attracted to him as wanting him as part of this deal with the Rays and the Mariners. So third star of the game is going to go to Joel Pozo, who drove in the first run of the game. Pozo's had a good spring, guys. Continues to swing the bat quite well. He's now batting .364. 1 home run, 4 RBIs, got an on-base percentage of .500. OPS now at 1.227. We know who most of the players at the big league level are already going to be, but those bench spots, those are still kind of a dogfight right now. And Pozo put in the work this offseason. Give this guy credit. Put in the work this offseason. He dropped 30 pounds. He looks much healthier. He looks better, and he's putting up numbers this spring. And he ain't going down without a fight. Like, we keep talking about how, well, do we need all of these freaking catchers? We got a bunch of them. He can play a little bit of first base as well. He could DH as well. You liked him off the bench last year. He was pretty good at that job. So, Pozo he's going to make it difficult to send him away. So I got more observations from today's game. Plus, we got the first set of cuts, like official cuts, sending people back to minor league camp. So we'll get into all of that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Today, I'm thrilled to be talking about our sponsor, MLB The Show 26, my favorite game that I play out of all games. Doesn't matter what style. MLB The Show, my favorite game. Greatest game in baseball. It's back with its newest installment. Baseball fans are going to have a hard time pulling themselves away from this one. Early access coming on March 13th. Full release March 17th. A ton of things coming from the team this week. We saw the Legends trailer on Monday, which revealed the Cardinals legend Red Schoendienst going to be in the game. He's joining us. Albert Pujols is back this year. You still got the soundtrack release. Ratings reveal is coming. They're going to talk some World Baseball Classic features as well with the Diamond Dynasty. So if you're a gamer, a baseball fan, or you just want to enjoy America's favorite pastime in a new, exciting way, you're going to love MLB The Show 26. You get to play as your favorite team and franchise players and see if you've got what it takes to win your own World Series. Visit MLBTheShow/LockedOn and use code LockedOn to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection is required. Pre-order now. Available March 17th everywhere on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Today's show also being brought to you by TurboTax. It is tax time. For a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. It's trying to book an appointment, that's not the most convenient. Sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth, wondering if they really got your situation and understand it. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. With baseball back, make sure you lock in by joining our Everydayer Club. We'll get you the ad-free episodes, plus access to our group chat and Discord for the next week or so. You're going to be able to use the code SPRING, SPRING, for a free month. Check it out by going to LockedOnSTLCardinals.supercast.com, or you can tap the link in the show notes. Some more observations from the Cardinals' 3-2 victory against the Marlins on Monday. The latest start from Andre Pallante, obviously something that we're all paying attention to. He went 3 innings. He allowed 1 run on 3 hits, no walks. He struck out 2. The Marlins lineup on Monday, not their best available, right? This was not their everyday lineup. We're all dealing with guys that are gone to the WBC now. So think about that. He still did all right, I guess. Opponents are hitting just 167 against him over the 5 innings he's thrown so far. He's going to continue to battle for a rotation spot. Hasn't done anything necessarily bad yet, but hasn't really stood out all that much either. I feel like he's the odd man out in this rotation this year when everybody is healthy. He's not going to be off the team by any means. I know some people are like, just get rid of this dude. No, they're not going to do that. Like, he's going to be a part of this organization in some way, shape, or form, whether it is going to be in the rotation, in the bullpen. I don't know about options or anything like that yet at this point, but I would suspect he goes to the bullpen and can play that role of long reliever, get you a couple innings when you need it. That's what I expect out of him. But, so far, not the worst, right? For Andre Pallante. But we still have that bad taste in our mouth from last year. We saw how bad things were. So it hasn't gotten to that level by any means. Bullpen good on Monday as well. Bruce Zimmerman. Now here's a guy that I'm kind of interested in. Fired 2 more shutout innings. Left-handed relievers, we know they don't have a lot of them. You've got Justin Brule, you got Jojo Romero. Who else are you trusting? Nick Raquet. Is that the other guy? I don't know. I guess you could use him, but Zimmerman's been around and he can get you a couple of innings. Could be a sneaky opening day roster ad. Maybe take on that Steven Matz role from the bullpen last year. Just something to think about. I have not ruled him out. I feel like he's a sneaky one at this point. Back-to-back shutout innings for Ryan Fernandez, who had that horrible first appearance where he just got lit up. But last couple of appearances has been much better. George Soriano, Scott Blewett also had scoreless innings on Monday. So you're impressed with what the bullpen was able to do on Monday. And so far the guys that are really in line for spots at the major leagues they've been pretty good so far this spring. So that's good. That's a positive. Offensively, 3 runs on 5 hits, none until the 5th inning. JJ Weatherholt 0 for 2 in this one, but he earned another walk. He's got 6 of them so far in the spring and just 16 plate appearances. His OBP is at 563 this spring. Pretty quiet for the rest of the main guys in the game on Monday. Fermin, Burley, Gorman, Pajes, Victor Scott combined to go 0 for 10. They got 2 walks, but 0 for 10. The team is batting just 226 this spring, which is the 4th worst average among all teams. They've got just 8 home runs, which is 3rd worst. They're slugging 341, which is, 3rd worst. And the OPS of 665, 3rd worst. A lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done, that is for sure, when it comes to the offense for the Cardinals. If there is something that you're going into the season and you're really concerned about, other than the fact that the team is so young and we just don't know how good or bad they're going to be. Most people think they're going to be bad. But offensively, we're like, where are they going to get runs from? Who's going to provide the pop in this lineup? You think Alec Burleson's going to be fine. You expect Ivan Herrera to be fine. But where else is it coming from? JJ has been outstanding this spring. For me, it seems like he's going to be your leadoff guy just at the top of the order. I need the walks. I need the on-base percentage. So, there was this pipe dream at one point that Victor Scott maybe could do something at the top of the lineup. Hasn't really shown that much so far this spring. So I think he falls back down to the bottom of the order. Mason Wynn, you've seen him bat leadoff a few times, but I feel like it might do something like a JJ, Mason Wynn, Burley, Herrera as your top 4. So that's just where I'm at with things so far. First round of cuts took place after the game, reducing their spring training roster to 57 players. 11 players moved to minor league camp. The team optioned right-handed pitcher Tekoa Roby to Memphis. The AAA roster, he's injured anyway, so that's not a big deal. They also reassigned non-roster pitchers Durangelo Sena, Pete Hansen, Ishan Henderson, Austin Love, Hansel Rincon, Sim Robertson, Jared Schuster, Zach Thompson, catcher Grayson Tarlow, and our boy outfielder Mike Antico went to minor league camp. Doesn't it feel like Antico is going to be the guy that when the Cardinals finally cut ties with him and let him go see if he can find a spot in the major league somewhere, that he's going to do some good on somebody else's roster? He just feels like that guy to me. Like, he's always involved in stuff, and apparently he's like one of the most favorite guys in the clubhouse, and that's going to sting when he goes somewhere else and becomes productive and the Cardinals couldn't find a role for him on the major league roster. But as far as the rest of that stuff, Senja moving on, that sucks that we don't get to see him again, but I don't know. They can still move guys around as far as I know, but none of this stuff is all that surprising as far as like where these guys are going. Cardinals currently have 39 major league roster players, 18 non-roster invitees in camp. They'll get the day off here on Tuesday, and then they're going to play an exhibition game against the Nicaragua team, who's managed by Dusty Baker. Is Dusty Baker from Nicaragua? I had no idea. Like, I was looking at their roster just to see if there were some familiar names. Not a lot on there. And then there was Dusty Baker Jr. as the manager of Nicaragua. I had no idea. That's what he was doing. But anyway, that's what's going on with the Cardinals. Up next, more feedback and backlash, both the same, on the Oli Marmol extension. I'm going to be reading your thoughts on the Cardinals extending Oli Marmol for 2 more years. Cardinal Confessions coming your way next on Locked On Cardinals. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board, and now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want. This is really up to you. How creative do you want to get with things? Rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits. You can mix the spreads. You can mix totals. You can do player props to match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost, which is key, and instantly bump up the potential payout. Now, go safe. That's up to you. Go bold. Pick something wild. You can do that too. Ride with the team you've been following all season. Again, Miami, Ohio is my wife's alma mater, and they are undefeated. They're going to be playing Toledo tonight. And, you know, are they going to continue this magical run? It's up to you whether you want to roll with them or not. They're going to be at home, which is pretty darn good there. So your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Today's show also being brought to you by Game Time. MLB opening day is almost here. You can feel it. The excitement is there. Fresh starts, big expectations, and that first crack of the bat. Whether it's a breakout rookie or a division race that goes down to the wire, nothing like being in the ballpark to feel it. The only problem is getting tickets can feel like a grind, which is not fun. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout, nonsense. You don't want that, and that's where our buddies from Game Time come in and help you out. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. They actually posted something on X today. What's your favorite opening day memory? I always go back to the Ozzie Smith backflips. Like, that's the one thing that I always remember being at an opening day game. I'm like, here comes Ozzie as a kid growing up. So that was always cool. Game Time app, simple to use. You get the Game Time guarantee, means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. Best part is fees. They're included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. The Oli Marmol extension, as predicted, has angered a lot of fans. They don't like him. They think he stinks. They think he's a loser. And they want us to know that. So you will notice that when you go on to the comments section and you start going through, whether it's on this show, any show, right? Like, you're going to see familiar names saying the same stuff on all the different message boards and whatnot. And it's fine. You know, they want you to know how much they despise Oli Marmol being here. But that's what Cardinal Confessions is about. You know, it's about getting things off your chest, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. So let's start with the unhappy folks. Okay. Let's give them the floor once again. And this is just randomly stuff. This is stuff that I just, in the comments from Monday's show. We're becoming the Pirates, the St. Louis Pirates. You know, the Pirates, just throwing this out there real quick, the Pirates do have some fun guys in Pittsburgh now. Just putting it out there. Paul Skeens, obviously the headliner, but Connor Griffin, Bubba Chandler, O'Neill Cruz was hitting .538 this spring. So look out for the Buccos as a sneaky pick, because if you got Bubba Chandler, Skeens, if Jared Jones is back healthy, Mitch Keller, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then they've added some offensive weapons this year. And I don't know how they can send Connor Griffin down. You got to have that dude up on the roster because he is a freak. All right, more of these. I wish I had a job that rewarded such little success and mostly failures and millions of dollars. Well, don't we all? And that's kind of what sports is about, where you see these guys making, and in every sport, it's not just baseball, but in every sport, you see guys that are like, suck. And they're just banking. And that's part of sports, man. Should have been a better athlete. Should have worked harder at the gym, dude. What surprises me is that attendance numbers are at record lows, and firing Marmol seemed to be at the top of most fan wish lists. Yet management opted to extend his tenure. Stupid. Now Yachty will go elsewhere and we lose a great manager. It's awful. He has not made the playoffs in 3 years. The last two coaches we got rid of barely missed 2 in a row, and we fired them, but we're settling for mediocre with Oli? Now, again, and I know this show is a small percentage of the fan base, but those who voted on the poll approved of the Oli extension. And despite some of the comments that we have, which I would say in the comments section, I would say it's probably like 70% negative, which is fine. Usually the angry people are the more vocal when it comes to things, but not everyone is upset. Not everyone's upset. Some of the pro Oli extension people As an avid Cardinal fan, there was a huge dry spell from the late 80s, Tony La Russa arriving in the 90s. We even had Joe Torre as manager during that time. He was fired. Then he went to the Yankees and managed a dynasty. I'm from the old school of thought, pitching and defense wins, and I believe we are on the correct path for a long run. Funny story here, actually. So that year that Joe Torre got fired, where it was like early on in the year, it was before the All-Star break, I think. But that year that Joe got canned, and it was Mike Jorgensen who ended up taking over as the interim manager. I had some connections. My buddy Mikey happened to be related to somebody and got us into the clubhouse during the final series of the season. And we got to go in after the game, and they had played the Giants. I could not tell you what the score of that game was. Have no idea. But back in the lower area of Old Busch Stadium, we got to see the Giants come out of their clubhouse as they were going to their bus to take them to the airport, whatnot. And we got to see Barry Bonds and Matt Williams and Deion Sanders, which was awesome. And they all gave us shout outs. They were very nice to us as kids at that time. So that was awesome. So, but Joe Torre, when we talk about this, Joe Torre's record with the Cardinals over his tenure as manager, as great as he was with the Yankees, 351 and 354 with the Cardinals. Was he a bad manager? I don't think many would consider that Joe Torre was a bad manager with the Cardinals. He had, I think, 3 winning seasons while he was the manager of the team. I think he did well with the talent he had, but, that was his record. He had a losing record as the manager for the Cardinals. So was that all on Joe Torre? And I love looking at the old names, and I love going to the old stats and stuff. Let's look this up real quick. So where are we at? 95, 20 and 27 when he got fired that year. Yeah, 3 winning seasons. Did not go to the playoffs. But his outfield that year in 95, Bernard Gilkey, Ray Langford, and Brian Jordan, which is very good. Had Pags behind the dish, who we love. John Mabry over at first base. But the rest of that infield, yikes. Jose Oquendo, in his 30s at the time, hit 209. Playing second base. Trip Cromer, OPS plus a 55, was your shortstop. It was him and Ozzie. Pattonville High School legend, my alma mater, Scott Cooper, over at third base, had a WAR of negative 0.3. That was tough. Remember, it had started off so good for Scott Cooper, too. Remember, he had that first game at Busch, and it was awesome, and he drove in the winning runs, and it was great, and it just never worked out for him, which is unfortunate. Rotation, check out these names. Mark Pekazik, Alan Watson, Donovan Osborne, Ken Hill, Mike Morgan, and Danny Jackson. We had Tom Hinkie as the closer then. I do remember him coming out of the clubhouse. Super dad look. Had the white T-shirt and jeans on with the white shoes. Tom Hinkie, man. He was a stud for the Cardinals that year, too. And then he just retired. Probably could have hung on for a couple more seasons. I could do this all day, by the way. Anyways, back to the Oli stuff. At the end of the day, if Bloom believes Oli is the best person to help the young guys develop, then I trust him. Worst case scenario is Oli isn't good, and hopefully in 2 years, the players have grown and Bloom decides to hire a new manager. This just feels like a keep things constant type of move, which I don't mind. Yeah, continuity was something that Bill DeWitt brought up at the presser. That, they need some sort of continuity, and having leadership in place together moving forward with the same vision makes sense. I don't understand the Oli hate. Whitey himself couldn't have done better with the roster and support staff that Mo gave him. Let's get the guy a roster and enough people to support them and see how he does. I think he's done pretty good with what he has had. First year, obviously very good. A lot of talent on that team, sparked by the Albert Pujols run to 700. Second year was the train wreck. Remember, we lose Yachty, we lose Albert, Adam Wainwright's hurt. Nato and Goldschmidt start their decline. So things were really, really bad that season. Third year, solid. Winning season. Last year below 500 again at 78 and 84. Now he's going to have this team of young guys who are expected to be bad. So we'll see how things progress. This season, not going to be judged by wins and losses in the eyes of management. And I know fans, that's what we look at, wins and losses. If we're losing a bunch, you suck. But that's not what the season's about. So hopefully most people are understanding when it comes to that. We're just looking for what this core is going to be moving forward. Who's coming with us? Who's going to drop off? We're going to find out. You got a lockout possible in 2027. And then 2028 is going to be the year where literally I think it's make or break with Oli. That'll be the year. They're like, all right, by 28, we expect to be contending again. And if you're a good manager and we're winning and we're contending, then we're going to keep you around. And if it's not working out and things haven't progressed the way we want them to, maybe we'll move on from that. So we'll see. Will it cost them Yadi or Albert as manager? Probably. I mean, are they going to wait around that long to see whether or not the Cardinals will have an opening? I doubt it. Seems like someone would jump at the chance to get them before that happens, and they would jump at a chance to be a big league manager somewhere else. I get that you're going to be upset when you see them jump ship and go somewhere else, and then Oli is still here. But if we're winning, are you going to be that upset about it? But if they're losing, I'd hate to be in charge. But again, people could have had Yadi and Albert this offseason as their manager, and nobody took them. Didn't happen this offseason. So who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I can tell you this much. The Cardinals have an off day today, and they'll face Team Nicaragua on Wednesday. So we'll be talking about that game tomorrow. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and JD Sports Radio. TikTok and Instagram, we're at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube, help our channel and our love for the Cardinals grow. Now, if you never miss an episode of the Everydayer Club, it's built for you. Get Locked On Cardinals ad-free plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to LockedOnSTLCardinals.supercast.com to join the club. Make sure you use that code SPRING, SPRING. Get that free month. For those of you on video, we'll send you off to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure your second listen is Locked On MLB with our guy Sully. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. Have a good one.